right, thank you so much.
Awesome. We are so excited to be here. This has been an amazing lineup so far. So Randy and I are here to share a little bit about tonight's Demos and Drinks event, the Ready Games.
Yes, indeed. The Ready Games have arrived in Orlando, Florida. And while the Super Bowl is great and the World Cup is wonderful, the best global competition of them all takes place right here tonight.
That's right. Tonight, this room will be transformed into Ready Stadium.
Woo!
Yeah. It is going to be an amazing event. You'll get a chance to not only have be spectators to the hottest ticket in town, but also be able to decide the fates of our 40 amazing demo teams, where your vote will determine who takes home the glory and most innovative and most likely to use.
For sure, your votes are going to make all the difference, and we hope you enjoy the competitive atmosphere of this grand sporting event. And while the demos will be delightful and the presenters passionate and the drinks and dinner delicious, the most important reason we're doing this is to inspire innovation.
Yes, that's right. Innovation is at the core of InterSystems culture, and I'm willing to bet most of your cultures as well. And while the competition tonight is just one way that we inspire innovation, it's actually part of a much larger game plan that we have here at InterSystems. So we're going to share about a few other programs that go hand in hand with tonight's demo competition. So one program is our Innovation Incubator. Now you're going to hear more about this on Wednesday, but for now I will say that this is a global program that funds startups and their amazing new products. Now we provide mentorship, marketing support, connection to many other startups, and even meeting space for meetings and working time.
Thank you, Jenny. And another awesome opportunity to share innovative ideas is via our developer community. Now, our developer community, which many of you may already be a part of today, it's by far the most successful program we've ever run in terms of getting you all to know each other. So here on the developer community, you can find reliable answers from developers, InterSystems engineers, and an AI assistant trained on our technologies. And with that collective expertise, you'll have access to practical knowledge, proven code, and implementation insights shared by professionals who use InterSystems every day. And of course, to keep things interesting, we have all sorts of programs to entice you to engage with the site and the community, such as webinars, developer meetups, and technical contests. And speaking of technical contests, and now we want to be careful, we don't want to confuse the demo games with tonight's Ready Games, but we do want to let you know that after tonight's event, there will be another event that runs online through the end of August, so all summer long, where our entire global community can watch demos from InterSystems sales engineers from all over the world that will show what's possible with InterSystems technologies. And so, show of hands, who is already in the developer community? Oh, awesome. Good. Quite a few of you, all right? And for the rest of you, this is the perfect time to join and check out the many demos that are part of this competition. And please be sure to vote for your favorites. So we'll have QR codes at the end of the presentation that you can all scan.
That's right. So tonight we're extending this idea of a demo competition to this evening. Now, I've personally seen a preview of every single one of our 40 demos, and I am confident that you're going to be inspired and wowed. And while the sporting atmosphere and the drinks are worth the price of admission, it's actually worth reflecting for a minute on why these demo competitions are important.
That's right. Now, sometimes demos are an example of what a product can do today, but we can also use demos as prototypes, not all that different from the ways an automobile manufacturer might use concept cars. In other words, you can think of a demo not just as an opportunity to see what a product can do today, but also what a product might be able to do in the future. And so many of you are here because you use our HealthShare line of products. What you might not know is that HealthShare began its life as a demo built by an InterSystems sales engineer. That's right. Yeah. And in fact, that former InterSystems sales engineer, he's here with us today. Mike, where are you? Are you out there somewhere? Yeah, well, he's somewhere here. And in any event, Mike is the stuff of urban legend these days in sales engineering, because once upon a time, he was a young whippersnapper of a sales engineer, and an idea came his way, and he coded up that idea into a demo over the weekend, and there's certainly more to it than that. But that idea eventually became HealthShare, and he showed that demo to a few of the right people, and it became adopted by the company. And now today, many of you here in the audience are using that technology today, and as the stat will tell you, 400 billion healthcare messages flowing through this technology in the United States alone every year. And that can all be traced back to a demo that was built once upon a time by an InterSystems sales engineer. Very cool.
Yeah, so who knows? The next HealthShare might be demoed at tonight's Demos and Drinks. In preparation for tonight's event, we're going to share some tips and tricks that we have. Randy's going to share from his perspective of how to create a great demo. But then who actually gets to determine whether these demos are any good? You guys will all be the judges. So I'll share some of the tips that I have on how to evaluate a good demo after that.
All right, thank you, Jenny. And so, yeah, if there's one thing I've done a bit of in my day, it's demos. I've been doing that. I definitely got my 10,000 hours in. And just an open offer to any of our partners, if you ever want to spend some time with me in person or over Teams, I'd be happy to share some tips and tricks and direct feedback on your own pitch. It's just, consider that an open offer. But I do have a couple minutes today to share a couple of tips, both for the demoers tonight, but then also all of us that might be going home and doing demos for the rest of the year, of course. And so the first one is that people remember individualism, okay? So don't be afraid to be yourself. There's a very famous demoer out in the audience who always wears a pair of signature high heels every time she's going to do a demo. And for me, one of the things that I do, I'm actually doing right now. I'm rolling up my sleeves and going to work, right? And this is something that I used to do subconsciously. And you might imagine, you're in a demo, let's say it's a 2-hour meeting, and maybe the first 30 minutes is sort of, questions and discovery, and I'm kind of sitting there and I'm engaged in the meeting, but it's not really my turn yet, right? And then I know the demo's coming up, it's on the agenda, and what I used to do subconsciously was I'd roll up my sleeves. I actually got this from a boss who used to say that expression, time to roll up our sleeves and go to work. Ironically, we wore short sleeves at that job, but whatever, the message stuck with me. And so I would do that, and I kind of like having my arms free while I'm typing. Well, a couple people noticed that, and they actually mentioned it to me after the fact. In one case, it was many months later. And so I realized, hey, wait a second, that's actually having an effect on people. And so, what I'm not up here saying, we don't want to overuse gimmicks or anything like that, but if you have something that works for you, embrace it and double down on it. So that's my first tip. My next tip would be, and this can be kind of discouraging at face value, but you have to sort of accept the fact that people are not going to remember the details, but they will remember how they felt. And once you embrace that, you can really use that to your advantage. Now, Jenny works in learning services, and there's statistics that show that even after a week-long technical training, the attendees are only going to actually remember 20% of the details, and the rest will come through applied learning, sort of as they do it as a day-to-day practice. Well, the same holds true for demos. And so what I mean by embracing that, think about how do you want them to feel at the end of the presentation. If you want them to be enthusiastic and excited, then you should be enthusiastic and excited, right? And that will sort of carry through. All right, the next one is wherever possible, avoid reading from a script. Now, scripts, they have a time and a place. Like, for instance, if you have a teleprompter and it's a presentation you're only going to do once, well, maybe a script is okay, but it's much better to internalize the message of what you want to get across. And then just have a conversation. It'll be much more natural. The audience will be much more likely to participate, which is what you want. People can tell when you're just reciting like a robot off a script. So try to avoid that wherever you can. All right, the next one. work in intervals, right? Stop and smell the roses. I've seen many times in my career, and for all the right reasons, people get very passionate, they're very excited, but what happens, it turns into output only, and all they're doing is talking at their audience, right? And again, in some situations, that's appropriate. But when you're doing a demo like tonight, you really want to engage the audience. So maybe, now tonight they're relatively short, once every couple minutes, just ask them, what do you think so far? Any questions so far? Am I going too fast, too slow, right? Those are little things that you can do to kind of break up a presentation and give the audience a chance to give you some feedback that you can react to in real time. All right, so another one, right? We've got to finish strong here. So you don't ever want to leave out the call to action. Again, I've seen many, many times a great, passionate presenter will go at it, and all of a sudden it's a 1-hour meeting, and 59 minutes, 59 seconds in, the demo's over, the Teams meeting ends, and everybody goes on their merry way, and we didn't agree to any next steps, right? We're doing these demos and presentations for a reason. You have to be hyper aware of that and leave time at the end and then tell them very specifically what that call to action is. Tonight, it's hopefully to garner their vote, right? But certainly, you know, in our sort of day-to-day setting, that might be to get them to agree to a follow-up meeting or provide you with additional information or answer clarifying questions. I see it all too many times. We don't leave time at the end for that, and you want to make sure that you do that. And then finally, at the end, and this may be obvious, but I see it missed so many times, ask them if they have any questions. And you know what? If they don't have any questions, don't be discouraged by that, because that gives you the opportunity to ask them a question. And the question that I recommend you ask them is, what did you think? Simple as that. You've just spent 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 55 minutes of your life presenting and passionate about the technology that you're showing. You have earned the right to ask them for feedback. So don't leave that on the table. Make sure that you ask them, you know, do you have any questions? If they do, answer them, keep the conversation going. And if they don't, then you get to ask them a question. What did you think? Did you like what you saw? Would this be helpful to you? Whatever that may be. So those are some of my tips and tricks. And again, would love to meet with any partners and spend a lot more time just sharing advice that you can take or leave in terms of how, you know, maybe we could make your demos more compelling.
That was great, Randy. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
So let's next talk about how we really evaluate demos. As you walk around the floor tonight, I don't want you just going and voting for the ones where your friends are at or the ones that look super shiny. I want you to really consider what's going to really move things forward, okay? When you're watching a demo, whether it's shiny and polished or quietly brilliant, you're not just looking at what's in front of you. You're actually choosing what we scale, what we share, and what we build upon. And most importantly, you're helping us decide what could it become. Let's start with the practical. What delivers real impact now? Now, some demos stand out because they're instantly useful. You can feel how they make your work easier, your process better, or your team stronger. So when you're evaluating demos for the most likely to use tonight, here are some things that I recommend you consider. First, does it solve a clear and present problem? Is it not just interesting, but is it necessary to overcome real challenges that you're facing now? Second, does it consider the current way that we work, seamlessly fitting into our existing workflows, allowing us to easily adopt it? Third, does it allow us to work smarter, whether it saves time, reduces effort, or eliminates frustration? This gets at properly augmenting the human, not replacing. And then fourth, does it inspire action this week? This could be applying tips that make your own applications better, or it could be starting down a process of actually adopting a new tool. Either way, it inspires you to do something new. This is the award that gets people saying, yes, we need this. Then there are the demos that go beyond what we thought was possible. They don't just improve our work, they transform our thinking. They inspire the future. So here are some of the things that you might consider when evaluating the most innovative demo tonight. First, does it solve a problem in a way that you didn't expect? Or reveal a need that you didn't even know was there? I think of when Apple first introduced the iPhone, we didn't know that a phone, a camera, and the internet in our pocket would actually be useful. But it changed everything. Second, does it open new doors and stretch what we thought was possible? This could be stepping into the middle where no man has gone before. And it opens a whole new world of applications. I think of applications like ChatGPT, for example, that basically you'll see all the demos, several of the demos tonight. It actually will inspire those. Third, does it change the way that you think? This should feel like a leap, not just a step, sparking imagination and inspiring the future. Products like Tesla shifted our mindset around electric vehicles, from compromise to performance and innovation. And fourth, does it transform the way that you do business, solving a real problem? It's not just innovation for innovation's sake, but it's actually a demo that could change the game. You could think of what Stripe did for online payments. Before Stripe, integrating payment systems was painful and time-consuming. It turned a multi-week headache into a few lines of code. It didn't just offer a tool, it reshaped how entire industries could accept payments and launch digital businesses. So that's what we're looking for. Solutions that don't just fit into your business, but help you to imagine and expand what your business can be. This is the award that makes people say, wow, imagine what we could do with that. Now, whether you're voting for most innovative or most likely to use, I invite you to consider one mantra: solve, scale, and spark. Does it solve a real or future problem? Can it scale to reach more people, teams, and outcomes? And does it spark new ideas, new thinking, or new conversations? Because the best demos, they don't just impress us, they move us, they change us, and they enlighten us to what's possible, and they show us a path to get there. So when you evaluate the demos tonight, don't just ask, is this good? Ask, what could this become? And then let's build our future from there.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jenny. All right. And so with that, welcome to Ready Stadium. We cannot wait. Tonight, we hope you come ready to be inspired. So Jenny, along with her co-host, Derek Robinson, they're going to be your hosts tonight for this event, and you're going to want to make sure that you're on time, as there will be a wonderful opening ceremony promptly at 6:30 p.m.
That's right. You don't want to miss this, so please come. The entire event will be like a science fair for adults, but way cooler. You'll be able to walk around and visit each of our demo teams and hear about their amazing demos that they've put together for you. Voting this year will actually be in the CVent app, so take a look at that. They'll be under the surveys section. And we really want to encourage you to vote for the most innovative and the most likely to use through that app.
Yeah, and of course, this is InterSystems, so make sure you come hungry, right?
That's right.
There's going to be lots of food. And speaking of food, I think it's lunchtime. So before you go, we'd like you to scan these QR codes for that demo games competition that will run for the rest of the summer on our developer community. And as soon as you scan these codes, feel free to go enjoy a wonderful lunch. And we look forward to seeing you all tonight at 6:30 p.m. right here at Ready Stadium. Thank you so much.